hate to break it to you, but you have probably already been scalped, scammed, and gunned down generally, and I want to help you to protect yourself moving forward. Let's do it.
Gentlemen, let's get down to business.
Hey, what's up you guys? Labubu and the crew are here in South Africa for a little while now, and everyone has been buzzing. The energy is palpable, and I've really enjoyed all the videos and the memes and all of the stuff in between, because it shows that people are really connected to this. And you know what? It's been a while since any type of collectible has brought so many different people from so many walks of life together. But of course, with all this excitement, we unfortunately need to have a serious, real talk conversation as family about protecting our community, our wallets, and of course our collections. Because alongside all of the good stuff and the genuine magic that has come, there's also the other side, which is of course scalping in the community. Guys, scalpers are the worst, and I'm going to help you to understand that. And also in this video, I want to talk a little bit about parallel importing, or so-called gray market goods, and unfortunately the risks that that creates for us all. But let's start our conversation with scalpers. So what are scalpers and why are they bad? When it comes to scalpers, it's a very, very difficult thing to actually break it down, but suffice to say that they are the villains of the collecting world. Now, there's no absolute definition of what a scalper is and who becomes a scalper or how it works, but suffice to say, it's typically a person or a business that buys up highly desirable items, whether it's a Pop Mart figure or a PlayStation or concert tickets, whatever the case may be. They do this not because they want it for themselves, but because they intend on reselling it to you at a significantly higher price, and thereby prey on your desire and in some cases your FOMO. All in all, these aren't collectors in the true sense. Because what they do is very often create artificial scarcity in such a way that it denies real fans the opportunity to get fair market price for items. Sometimes you see them hijacking limited drops, and then next thing you know, bam, there they are charging double, triple, and in some extreme cases, even 10 times the recommended retail price. The problem with all of this is that it's unfair, it's exploitative, and all in all, it hurts the community by making collectible inaccessible and frustrating for everyone else. And eventually, when the jig is up, it breaks the market for everyone else as well. Now, some might argue that these people are providing a service. What they are doing is bringing us things that we aren't necessarily able to access right now, because the authorized channels have all this red tape and they are filling that gap. And that's an argument.
You're kidding, right?
I don't know if it's a fair argument or a valid argument, but the challenge is that when you say you are providing a service and then hiking the price up to bombastic levels, that sounds more exploitative for me rather than being a service. But to each their own. All in all, scalpers are bad, and it's harder to identify them than you think. We'll talk more about that. But to go there, we also need to talk about the gray market, parallel importing, and all of that. So let's segue into the discussion of gray market goods. Now, in this, we are going to discuss how not following the authorized retail channels opens our awesome community up to a host of different risks and why we should steer clear of that. Now, first and foremost, definitions. For anyone who doesn't know what gray market or parallel importing is, it's basically not following the proper channels to do so. Now, they aren't in and of itself bad. In fact, in a free market like South Africa, it's not even illegal. But of course, there are some rules and regulations that apply to this. And I'm going to try and circle back to that a little later. In fact, this may be a bigger conversation. Subscribe to get more information at this. All in all, though, what gray marketing does is that it creates a potentially vicious cycle, fam. When you buy from unverified sources, you're not just risking getting fake stuff because you don't know where it's coming from. You're also creating a demand channel that scalpers and of course counterfeiters can thrive in, because nobody knows where the stuff is coming from and there's no way of verifying. If there's a market for overpriced, unverified goods, you can be darn assured that these guys will find it and exploit it. For example, this here is a sealed have a seat. This retails for 485 Rand via authorized retailers. This is a sealed exciting macaron, 485 Rand. This price, or these prices, are regulated for local channels, and these prices are set after the authorized retailers and distributors have gone through all of the red tape, paying the licensing fees, paying the import costs, all of that good stuff, and it's still 485 Rand a unit. Now, if you have FOMO, you may think that you're doing something very smart by maybe paying 980 Rand or whatever these things go for in the grey market for a 485 Rand figure. The math ain't mathing, people.
Friday, do the math.
And if you ask a great retailer, they will tell you that, oh, no, it's our overhead costs. We had to bring in from here. We had to do that. Our markups are not great. So my question is, how is it that after accounting for minimum order quantities, the legals, the tax implications, and all that other cool stuff, the authorized retailers can still have it for so much less? That sounds less like parallel importing and more like scalping. But let's think of it slightly differently. Let's look at a worse situation, right? I want you to think for a minute about the super rare exclusive figures, right? So one like this. There is only one in every 72 boxes. And let's say a scalper buys 100 boxes through unofficial sources and then does a verification service, which admittedly sounds really cool, I will admit. But then what they do is they take these verified items and list them for significantly higher, where the recommended price of a blind box is 485 Rand. What they've effectively done is passed all of the risk on that transaction to you. In my book, that's exploitation masked as convenience.
And modern problems require modern solutions.
Not illegal, to be fair, because like I said, it is a free market, but it's kind of antithetical to the notions of community and family building that blind boxes are supposed to create. Because remember, you're supposed to get the ones you get and trade in your community, get more. It's weird.
Weird, all of it weird.
All in all, your money is fueling a system that actively hurts the availability and fair pricing for everyone else. Now, of course, these are extreme examples, and I'm not throwing shade at anyone.
No tea, no shade.
I'm just creating this hypothetically.
Show me what you got.
More apt right now, though, is the fact that many of us are seeing Labubus in particular online for 800 Rand and above. And many of you have bought it because you had FOMO. Yes, you caught the trend. And yes, it's convenient. But a month or so from now, authorized retailers are going to get the stock and it's going to be sitting there in stores for 485 Rand. And yo, that's going to sting when you paid 980 Rand for it. Let me know how convenient that is for you. That, of course, brings me to why I always suggest that you should support authorized retailers. And listen, this is a personal perspective, but I think it holds true. So let's break it down. The reason it is so important to support the authorized retailers like Nexus Hub or Project Mayhem in Durban, Wonderport Collectibles, and any of the people that are linked in the description down below. Just follow that link for all the authorized retailers here in South Africa. When you buy from them, you are guaranteed that you are getting the right stuff. So no Lafufus here, Baba, you are sharp. You are getting the right price. It's 485 Rand for the exciting macarons that have the seats. And you know that that's always going to be. It's not going to be some random inflated price when prices or stock miraculously appears on a website because you DM'd the seller. Oh, wait, now we got stock.
It's magic.
Doesn't make sense. What you get is formalized customer support if something goes wrong. And who knows, in some cases, maybe even a warranty. Of course, chatting to your authorized retailer gives you all of that support. And most importantly, you are supporting the legitimate supply chain. And what that does in the bigger picture is that it ensures that the powers that be actually understand what the market is doing, what the demand is, and we can sustainably make sure that these amazing items reach our shores at good pricing, on a consistent basis, and that benefits everyone. Now, typically in parallel imports, the grey imports as some people call them, it looks cheaper initially, but it comes with so many risks. There's so many risks. There's no quality control, there's no oversight, there's no guarantee of authenticity, and in some cases, zero after-sale support. You're effectively buying blind and often contributing to a system that cuts corners and doesn't really benefit the artist or the legitimate brand building here in the country. Very often you'll find that, okay, why can't we get stuff? It's because people don't know that we need it. That's why it's important. So here in South Africa, it's weird because the benefits of grey goods aren't even there. Because typically you'd say that if something is parallel imported, by landing, it should be cheaper, right? Because they don't have to go through all of the red tape. But in our case, that's not happening. You're paying more. The math isn't mathing, people. Somebody make it make sense.
I don't understand what you're trying to do!
All I'm saying, guys, is that it's a risk and you need to be aware of it. Inform yourself. Now, listen, I want to qualify this. This is just my opinion. I've been collecting for nearly 2 decades. And you know what? I've seen it over the years that there's an ebb and a flow to this. And ultimately, it always benefits everyone when you follow the proper channels. Because even when there's delays, I found that it always works out better for me in the end, long term for collecting. But like I said, it's your money and you should do what makes the most sense for you. We're not out here giving you financial advice. We're just saying, just be smart about it. And you know what? I can understand the notion that some people will say that, hey, listen, you know what? You are telling people where to buy things from and, you're gatekeeping. Let's not gatekeep this. And I'm like, fair. By all means, let people sell what they want to sell. All I'm saying is that it is better, in my opinion, to look to establishing a proper value chain. That's not gatekeeping. That's just good business sense. It ensures that you're going to get the right prices at the right time for the right stuff and you get it sustainably. And you get to do all of that for all these amazing brands right here in South Africa. Doing so means that Pop Mart and other brands will continue to invest in our market. They will bring us new awesome figures and new awesome opportunities. And all in all, on the back end of this, it helps to build a healthy community sustainably. So yeah, by all means, let people sell what they want to sell. All I'm saying is, as a customer, just be smart in how you spend your hard-earned randellas. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Zaid, it's easy for you to say that because you already have your stuff. What if I miss out?
But wait! There's more.
So that brings me to the notion of FOMO. FOMO, or the fear of missing out. And hey, listen, it's a powerful emotion, I get it. But here's the cold hard truth. FOMO doesn't change the inherent value of the item you're buying. If your FOMO makes you feel like you should go and buy an item for double recommended retail price, that's okay, that's on you. It's your call, it's your money, do so. But it's worth, on the other side, considering the implications of what you're going to feel like or the emotion you're going to feel when you see the properly sourced items sitting on the shelf in abundance for much, much less.
That's gotta hurt.
As a personal note, I just think that patience and smart shopping pay off in this game. Where does that leave us right now? Well, guys, you know what? It's a journey. We're on this together. All I'm saying is that you need to empower yourself. You need to be smart and you need to be savvy. I want us to build a space where we keep our collective community strong, we keep them genuine, we keep them fair, and we keep them sustainable here in South Africa. I don't want you to let scalpers exploit your passion and ultimately kill your joy. Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to hit you in the pocket and it's going to hurt you in your heart. Personally, I think that you should always do your best to buy from authorized retailers. And on that note, you can check the links in my description below for all the official places to get your fix here in South Africa. Let me know, what do you think about all of this? Let me know in the comments below. Have you been hit by scalpers? Have you been scammed? Let's get all those stories below. I'm also very interested to hear, how did they get you, if they did get you? And as always, it will really help me out if you would like, share, subscribe, and do all of that fun stuff to have more collector learning sessions like this. My mission is to create a safe collector space in South Africa, and I believe that that only happens when we can have frank and honest conversations about what's been going on, who's been doing what, and all in all, learning from each other. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Ciao.